Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Season 1 obviously added in a ton of new weapons when it went live. The Cold War Arsenal update for Warzone was huge, although it was, and for the most part still is, incredibly buggy. However, that aside, the Cold War Arsenal update introduced a handful of really good weapons and loadouts to run, even if the attachments aren't fully functioning as intended. And so today, we're going over the top 5 Cold War weapons and loadouts to run in Warzone right now. As always, if you enjoy the video at any point, a like rating would be much appreciated. Let's see if we can cross 4,000 likes on this video. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, I am always covering the latest news, intel, tips, setups, and basically everything else going on in COD. So feel free to subscribe if you want to stay on top of all of that. So just a heads up, this list is in no particular order just because different weapons excel in different areas, and honestly, the way I see it, these weapons are only going to get better over time once all the attachments are actually working as intended. But starting off, we gotta talk about the Tundra, because this is by far the best Cold War sniper in Warzone. I mean, just comparing it to the other options we have in game, there really is not much of a competition. We've got the Pellington, which shoots Nerf darts instead of bullets, and it also has the velocity of like a broken water gun at times. Then we've got the M82, which is, well, the M82. I think that's enough said there. But the Tundra is actually crazy good at being that medium and long-range sniper. It's not as, fast as, say, the CAR or the SPR. However, its bullet velocity can actually be the best in the game entirely with the right attachments. And in turn, the Tundra can absolutely compete in the current sniper meta. The one-shot headshots are pretty wild. It can break armor in one hit, it can down in two, so even though it can be a bit awkward to use just because of its overall speed, this thing is a beast at the end of the day. So on the Tundra, I'm running the wrapped suppressor for better velocity, and of course, to stay off the radar when shooting. Then I've got the combat recon barrel, and actually, those two attachments together are what make the Tundra so good because the combined velocity there is unmatched by any other sniper in the game. Cold War or Warzone, those two are the, huge difference maker here. Then I also have the bipod for a faster ADS. It's not much, but it is something. I've got the 7-round mag, and then finally, the Royal and Cross 4x optics, since it actually has no glint, which is a pretty nice advantage to have compared to something like the CAR or the HDR or most of the Modern Warfare snipers, where usually you're going to end up having a glint because of the scope you're using, which of course gives away your position. Now next up, let's talk about the Krig 6. Personally, I think this is one of the best assault rifles here in Warzone. It's actually pretty good over in Cold War MP too, but because things like the XM4 and the AK-47 from Cold War can't reach their full potential, the Krig currently, I would say, is a standout weapon in the assault rifle category, and just in terms of the Cold War weapons in general. The recoil here is actually pretty minimal, with the right setup that is. You can definitely compete in fights with weapons like the M4, the Grau, even the M13 from Modern Warfare, so I think it definitely does find its way into the meta. Maybe not like at the very top up there with like the AMAX and the FFAR and weapons like that, but it is certainly usable. Not to mention it is pretty lightweight for an AR, so you can pair this with a sniper if you wanted to, but you could also go like mad aggressive and pair this with an SMG as well. It is a super versatile weapon, and I think it should definitely be talked about when going over the best Cold War weapons as of right now. So on the Krig, I've got the agency suppressor. Of course, this is a must-have for the better range, the bit of recoil control that it offers, then also avoiding detection on the minimap. I've got the Ranger barrel, which is going to give you the best velocity out of any barrel option we've got here. I've also got the Bruiser grip. This or the Field Agent are going to be usable on the Krig or really any other rifle from Cold War. It's going to be like that pretty much until the Bruiser is fixed. I also have the 45-round mag. You could always go bigger, but it's also going to make you a bit slower. Personally, 45 just works fine for me. Then finally, I've got the 3x optic. That is mainly just preference though. 2x also works, as does the Microflex. Really whatever floats your boat there. Then next up, I've got the MAC-10. We already know how good the big MAC-10 is. This thing is some cheese with how good it is up close. Basically, when it comes to the stats, the MAC-10 really isn't lacking in any major area. It's got great mobility, especially with the right attachments. It's got next to no recoil, and what recoil there is very easy to learn. It also has really good damage and really good range for it being an SMG, so you don't really miss any of the key marks when using this thing. Personally, I love it. The iron sights are great. It's a perfect aggressive weapon. It's pretty much on all of my main loadouts and has been ever since the integration took place. So here I'm rocking the muzzle brake, and I already know what you're saying. Zach, why aren't you using a suppressor? And frankly, the agency suppressor works just fine. You can totally run that and the setup is still going to be fantastic. That is what I was actually running for, the start of the integration basically. Recently though, I've been using the muzzle brake because part of me just loves the extra speed that you get with the muzzle brake on there instead of the silencer. The ADS is a bit faster, and in turn, I just feel more confident rushing and pushing fights up close. Then I've got the Task Force barrel, no brainer here, you want this on all your Cold War SMGs. I've got the Field Agent grip for better control, the 53 round drum, and then finally the combat stock, which makes the ADS strafing speed even better. Again, really helps out in those close range fights. Now, after that, we've got the AUG, and you guys probably know I've been talking about this one a lot lately. I mean, the thing just melts, plain and simple. It erases people. It's a Thanos snap in the form of a weapon, all right? I've seen a lot of people saying, well, you know, the M16 is up there too. And yeah, the M16 is solid, but the AUG actually has a better TTK after the recent shadow nerf to the barrels. The AUG also has better mobility, so it sort of runs those close and medium range fights more. To me, it's just the better of the two, and honestly, one of the top meta weapons in the game right now, not just, you know, within the Cold War meta, but in the Warzone meta overall. It is super easy to use just because it is a burst weapon, and keep in mind, I don't even like burst weapons, man, or at least in the past I haven't. I pretty much try to avoid them at all costs just because they are awkward to use, but the AUG is just like the perfect balance of strong and consistent, and I love it. It is a ton of fun to use. So here I've got the Agency Silencer, the Strike Team barrel, which basically puts this in line with the pre-patched Titanium barrel. You are going to have a slightly slower fire rate, but it's a very, very minuscule difference. You don't really notice that one too much. Then I've also got the Field Agent grip, the 45 round drum, and the 3x optic as well. And then to round things out, I'm sure y'all saw this one coming, it's the FFAR. By far one of the most popular weapons in Warzone right now. This thing has really taken over the meta recently because I think people are realizing that this thing is just unreal up close and in those medium range fights. That fast fire rate means it's going to shred up close, and without assault rifle damage, you've got a weapon that is going to delete people left, right, and center all day long, all day, every day, doesn't matter. The FFAR is just insane. Of course, it takes a bit more skill to control because the recoil, especially as you get into those medium and longer range fights, is not super ideal. It can definitely bounce around a decent amount. But once you get that pattern down, the FFAR is far better, pun intended, than the vast majority of weapons we've got right now. And here I've got the Agency Suppressor once again, the Ranger barrel for the best velocity and slightly better control than what you'd have with like the Task Force barrel, alongside the Bruiser grip still, the 50 round fast mag, and the combat stock too. Now, as for the rest of the loadout, for the secondaries, you can obviously mix and match a lot of these that we just went over. You know, FFAR and MAC 10 is very fun. FFAR and Tundra works, MAC 10 and Tundra, AUG, MAC 10. You can sort of go back and forth with all of those. Then for perks and equipment, as always, I've got EOD, Overkill, and Amped. I grabbed Ghost through loadout number 2. Then I've also got the Semtex and either Stuns or the Heartbeat on there as well. So yeah, there you have it. Those are the top 5 Cold War weapons and the best attachment setups for them right now in Warzone. And that's going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, or if you just found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, setups, you name it, it's all right here on the channel. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, and Control Freak products, and the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.